We've all heard it. We've all probably said it. This move beats this move. This character beats this character. And this move is overpowered, or this character is top tier. Everyone is so ready to speak in absolutes, but often statements are spoken out of anger, frustration, impatience, or inexperience. Not only can these thoughts be inaccurate, but also are damaging towards a part of our competitive progression. When we think of matchups between characters and moves, often the first thing that comes to our minds is trades. And when we're starting out, this is probably one of the first things we understand when learning about move exchanges. When two moves clash at the same time, which move wins? As the Smash games have gone on, each one added more and more levels of disjointed moves, and moves with varying levels of priority and armor. So with all this information, it's easy to relent to just seeing one exchange of two moves, and then marking the outcome as fact in our minds. But Smash Bros. Is a fighting game with a massive series of oddities and varying outcomes, even between exchanges of the same two moves. And that's because Smash Bros. Is not just a game about simply an exchange of two moves, but it's also a game about positioning and timing. Where some moves seem unbeatable, many still have vulnerable spots. Many hitboxes are tighter than perceived, and there are a lot of moves that even change priority with the amount of time they've been out. Shed away the habits of thinking in absolutes, where before after one exchange you would think, this move loses to this move. Think carefully, what was the exact timing for each move released, and what was the exact positioning that each of these two moves clashed? And then you can work to digest more precise information. Now with that said, this is not a green light for you to do the same approach you're comfortable with over and over. It's still important to be wary and learn from the most likely outcome of two exchanges. But showing these oddities, I wish to encourage everyone to always have the willingness to extensively experiment with moves. Even when there's a small vulnerability, if you practice enough with timing and positioning, you can learn to exploit that vulnerability more often. For the moves that are even more heavily advantageous, you can then push yourself to learn to read your opponent, to stop the move before it can come out, or bait your opponent to punish it afterwards. But never ever ever completely give up on a move. From there you will just cripple your own options and make it that much easier for your opponent to condition you. Rather find the right times to use it in new ways or catch your opponent off guard. In most cases, this pattern of thinking in absolutes will have you walking around with not completely accurate information and will stop your personal progress hard. There's probably a lot of times when we're resorting to assumptions due to anger, impatience, or pride, and recognizing that could probably help us let go of it more. No matter what, nobody solves a matchup with just a few matches, and nobody solves anything playing tons of matches without looking for new solutions, or being preoccupied thinking they know everything already, and not bothering to improve precision. But the biggest danger of thinking in absolutes is how far you can sink into it. If you lose yourself in this thought process, you can go from, this move can never win, to, this character can never win, to, I can never win. You might already be ready to say that so many characters have things that are impossible to overcome, or nobody can possibly take advantage of such small openings, but it's just not true. From Kaizo challenges to speedruns, and even feats individuals have accomplished in Smash Bros, and even outside of gaming altogether, you can never underestimate the potential of people's abilities. And there's so much potential hidden in you too, and so much left to discover in this game. And it's only going to be uncovered if you're willing to try to dive deeper into the paths already written off, and you'll only start to find that hidden potential by letting go of your own mental limitations.